And good morning to you too, Two-Faced Disc. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. It's me, DIGI. For some reason, the menu music is not playing. It could just be a temporary bug from having gone back to version 1.53 of Euro Truck Simulator 2 because the 1.54 update released today and the update breaks the mod for Project Japan. So I went back to the temporary 1.53 for incompatible mods beta build that they have. And that's what we're currently running on. I haven't started doing any jobs just yet, but we're going to go ahead and get started and maybe do one or two runs today. So, to all my friends watching, to all the first time viewers, and to my lurkers, hello, welcome, and good morning, good afternoon. Let's see, what time is it? Yeah, it is technically tomorrow overseas, somewhere like in, say, Sydney or Tokyo, places like that, Guam. So there you have it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map because I think I'm actually going to start looking for jobs. We have a garage out in Tokyo, and we're going to try to visit Runtech and a few companies out here just to see if we can get some jobs to start paying back a loan that we took out. So hopefully I'm going to get some sound. There we go. There we go. For some reason, it didn't want to play until I actually got in the game. That's a little weird, but that's all right. Two-Faced Disc, hello, my friend. I hope that you are doing very well today, and I hope that you are off to a great start. I started this morning really early, so let's see. Um, for all my West Coast friends, when it was 1:30 in the morning, your time, I was waking up, literally. Let's go ahead and find some work. So, this is a rather interesting first garage because usually all the first garages in Euro Truck Sim are like in, you know, small, very small kind of well used spots. All right. Now, because I am massively impatient, actually, you know what? I don't have to do that. I used to go over the curb to get back to where I wanted to be, but I actually don't have to go that far. I can make a left turn here, go down the street, and then actually wind up at one of the two places I might check out today for some truck jobs. If you folks don't know, I am using Euro Truck Simulator 2 version 1.53 for the Project Japan map mod, which is a collection of regions in Japan that you can go to for the sake of getting a job and doing the usual trucking gig. Issue with Project Japan is the routes are longer because the map scale is bigger, the roads are more challenging, and the parking certainly is more challenging as well. Let's take a look at freight market and see what we can take. Well, this is an interesting turn of events. I can either go to Nishinomiya, which is a like milk run, or we can go down the road to Daikoku, which is that speaks to me more. Give me a chance to stretch my legs. The other job was easier, but this one just feels better. But yeah, I think I've been playing with Project Japan now for about the past, like literally almost 2 months solid, and I finally got enough money to make taking a loan out from the bank and buying a truck much easier. than what I had before. So, my truck, their trailer, let's go. All right, just got to be careful coming out here because we got lots of traffic. Hopefully, I don't miss my window, but I don't think this is going to be a time sensitive delivery. I just don't want traffic to show up. And I think we're good. But good morning, good almost afternoon to my East Coasties, and wishing you a very good day today. I woke up really early in the morning to take care of some medical stuff, and I am back from that. I am running on literally about 3 hours sleep, so I expect to hit the pillow hard this evening and hopefully feel more refreshed tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll see. I might do a digi nap later this afternoon. I don't know yet. I don't know. I'm exploring the possibility of me looking at the inside of my eyelids for about an hour later today. Right now though, I'm like running off some serious caffeine. So trying to get back to a place where I can just kind of go, oh, okay, it's bedtime. Zonk. And then I'm done. But we'll see. One thing I can say so far in the sim, I'm paying for tolls myself, but even the really small jobs are paying me more. Like, I remember the quick jobs going from like one port to another. I was only making, like maybe 90 to 100,000 yen, and I got double that now. And I think that's because my operating costs are being taken into consideration. I'm paying for my own fuel, I'm paying for my own tolls, so now I guess the real gameplay begins. But this is still a fun game. This is still a great sim. So I'm happy to be here. We've got about 67 kilometers. Like I said before, the map scale in Project Japan is almost double the scale of Euro Truck Sim and American Truck Sim. So on average, any job you take, any distance you drive, is going to feel almost twice as long. Which is cool if you like driving in Japan. If you don't like driving a truck and delivering cargo, Japan is probably not going to be the place for you. I like how the AI just confidently merged. That's good. That's good. I backed up on purpose so that I could give them room to merge in. You know, he or she could have been unsure about their merge. Now we're going to Daikoku. Which way could we go? We could go under the airport like we usually do. We can theoretically take the shorter route, which is more complex and challenging and has you go on, I think, local roads. I think. But I like I like the Bayshore route because there's usually more room you have to think. So we'll stay on the Bayshore Road. What some of you might recognize more as the Wangan. And my apologies to anyone if I'm mispronouncing it, because I most likely am. But good morning once again. Wishing you a great day today. I do like driving past the airport because in the sim they do show lots of aircraft taxiing around and taking off, as I could see a what looked to be a KLM 747 actually taking off, flying to parts unknown. I haven't seen too many trains, but I also haven't been paying attention to them, and that's okay. I tell you what I have been paying attention to. I've been paying attention to my habits over the past, say, 4 or 5 months. And if I'm honest, I don't like them. I mean, okay, you know, reality check. I am fortunately blessed not to be in the situation I was last year, where I had a lot of work, no, no, no margin, and I was working so many more hours each day that Mrs. DIGI could easily tell you she saw me and she saw somebody else. So I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful that I am not in that same predicament. But just because I'm not in that same predicament doesn't mean that I don't still get a little bit run down by the challenges that I'm facing right now. We've talked about this somewhat, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here. If you know, you know. All I can tell you is that there are some things that I'm starting to notice, which I'm not a fan of, and I don't know. Like, I talked to my friends online, and I talked to some folks last weekend, and I just feel like I need to preserve some margin in my life and really just be wiser about what it is, how it is that I'm achieving what I need to do. If it sounds like I'm talking in code, it's because I am. And in one sense, I don't know why I'm so guarded about certain conversations. I don't necessarily need to be. So I'll put it to you this way. I can barely afford to work right now. But the reason why I'm doing this, as opposed to doing more of the thing I normally do on a daily basis right now, is because on the advice of my family and my friends, I'm taking some time right now to rest, to genuinely kind of just power down my brain just for a moment, just for a little bit, just so I can say, hey, look, like, I need to recoup my margin. I need to rest. I need to recover. I need to start getting ready to do all the things. And part of that means that I make sure that I remove myself from the equation. You know, okay, let's do some basic math. 3 hours of sleep plus a sincere need to rest and recover equals zero discussion about software development, equals taking a break from scenery development, equals taking a moment to catch my breath and to say something on the level of, no, I need to rest, which is what I want to do, which is what I'm doing by being in Project Japan right now. And I mean, obviously, I don't want to have a repeat of I don't want to have a repeat of this morning. I certainly don't want to sleep 3 hours again. I want to sleep way more than 3 hours tonight. But at the same time, it's like I said, like I'm at the point right now where it's just like, okay, you know, you know what you're doing. Just keep it up. Just chill. And make sure you don't let go of more from margin digit. Obviously, those of you who can follow me on Discord and have done so, you're more than welcome to ask me questions. And without doxing myself, I will explain the situation in more detail there. Rest assured, I am I'm still in a great space, wonderful family and friend support. Obviously, above and beyond everything else, the support of Yahweh Elohim, God Almighty, helping me make sense of my days and just be able to take it one moment at a time. So again, back to present day. I find myself approaching my destination and approaching the Daikoku Futo parking area. Now, I'm going to see once I drop off my cargo whether or not I can actually get into the parking area and see it, because I'm very, very curious. And I mean, I'm basically going to be a really huge truck going in there, but I'm not going in there with a trailer. I'm going in there just with my truck by itself. So I shouldn't have a problem. I don't have money to buy another map expansion. I think they released either the Falkland Islands or something other than Greece recently. I went as far as getting Greece. So up to that point, including Spain, I virtually have every single map DLC for Euro Truck Sim 2. So if Project Japan releases an update, which is for version 1.54 of the sim, then I should be able to update it and install it without too much fanfare or difficulty. Now, if you're unaware of what I'm talking about and you're wondering, what's this dude going on about Project Japan and why do I see Japanese writing everywhere? Project Japan is a map mod for Euro Truck Sim 2, which I've installed. There is a process to go about downloading the official Project Japan map, and you do need to have the prerequisites, like I mentioned before, of almost every map DLC right now. I think you only have to go as far as Greece. You don't have to have Greece, but you do need to have everything up to that point. And once you do, then you go to the official Project Japan website. A pretty quick search will make that known to you. And when you go to the Project Japan website, there is a very specific process you follow to download and install the Project Japan map. I did it wrong the first time because I was not paying attention. You don't have to download anything sketchy. You don't have to download anything other than the actual scenery packs. And then once you do, you're done. You're good. You've got what you need. Admittedly, the specifics regarding the hosting of those files, it kind of left a meh feeling in my brain. Like, I feel like they could have done it better, but I don't know what their current situation is. So their hosting is their hosting. Again, you're not gonna find it impossible to get the files. It's just that you have to slow down and pay very close attention to what you're doing so that you don't wind up in a sticky situation. But once you have it, you have North Japan to explore, Tokyo, Osaka, Shikoku Island, and the western, one of the westernmost prefectures in Japan. So there's plenty of places to go and explore. And of course, deliver cargo. I'm going to do a little bit of exploring after I drop this cargo off here. And let's see. Let's go ahead and do the safe drop off because I'm lazy. Today is not the day for complex parking. I'm good. All right. There we go. That should be fine. Not bad. This truck works well. Horsepower is a little on the lacking side right now, but I think I need to get to at least level 8, which is the next level up for me, before I can actually upgrade, I think, the transmission and the motor. Yes. And I just checked my my headset and I hopefully was not muted, but I don't think I am. Let's go ahead and drop this load off. Cool. Almost to level 8. I think I'm going to level up while I'm driving around. All right, let's go find Daikoku Futo. All right, and once I find Daikoku Futo, I'm probably going to step away from the cabin real quick to make sure the pets are fed. Shouldn't take me more than a minute or two, and then we will see what else we can explore today. This was a like ridiculously quick delivery, so believe me when I say this is not gonna be the only thing I do. I'm probably gonna do at least one or two other runs. What I'd like to do is to get into Daikoku Futo, so we will see. All right, full stop. No California rolls out here, man. I think the police would crack down. Now, let's see if I can figure out how to get into this place. So, you'll forgive me if I go external view for a little while. Although it is loud, so I might stay in the I might stay in the driver's seat for a little bit longer. I don't know how to activate any kind of drone mode in here. And I think I'd like to find out, but I don't know that for a fact. But we'll just mess around for a few moments before we actually figure out where we have to go. Now, when we pulled off of the highway, the split was like here. So I'm guessing the entrance has to be around the corner somewhere. In the sim, there are a lot of, I'm sorry, not a lot, a few Asian truck companies that are represented, but I don't have any DLC for trucks that lets me buy them. I might look into that in the future when I get more trucks in the area. Am I having fun? Yes, I am. Now, I'm going to go this way, and hopefully I don't wind up merging onto the highway. Kev, oh my friend, it is a privilege to see you. Welcome aboard. Thank you so much for coming by. You're making my day, friend. Folks, if you don't know my friend Kev McWay, you really should go check him out. Him and Two-Faced Disc. Kev is a loyal friend and fellow sim pilot that likes to. I think I'm going to wind up going the wrong way here. Doesn't matter. Sim pilot that likes to do cargo runs. Yes, a privilege. I do like having you around, buddy. You are a friend. You've been a long time a companion in the community, and honestly, it's great to have you around. I I haven't seen you stream for a little while, but I know you do. I mean, you like me have your busy days, so I get it. And I look forward to seeing the next time for me to drop in and say hello. Yeah, I'm glad to have you aboard. I'm trying to find the entrance into the Daikoku Futo parking area, and I missed effort number one. So I'm literally going to back up using the shoulder once I merge onto the Bayside route, and then we're gonna try it again. But I just finished the delivery. I want to make sure I find the parking area and then go to park the truck, step away from the truck for a little bit, feed the pets, and then come back. Let's see, Haneda. Oh, I can't go that way anyway. Huh. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm driving my very first truck. I actually decided to take out a loan because I had almost about as much money as I needed to take the truck out on my own, but I use that to customize the truck a little bit more, and then I have some operating capital so that I can actually start doing jobs and not be in the red right away. So, now that I've merged onto the road, I'm going to do the sensible thing, which is basically back up. However, I don't know if I'll be able to. I don't know. Let's find out, shall we? Let's see if I can get out of their way real fast. Okay, good. I don't think I'm going to hit this person. This is good. Don't want a traffic incident. Oh, okay. Yeah. You've been I thought the last stream you had was a just chatting thing. I thought that's what it was. Okay, so I don't see anything that's gonna block me from backing up. Let me just take my time. Now, the point of me doing this, kids, is so that I can actually exit the highway again and hopefully get to the parking area this time. Otherwise, I'm going to wind up probably falling through the bridge, wrecking my truck gloriously, and then having to reload. Taking risks can be interesting. All right, let's go meet the invisible wall of Jello. Yeah, 30 kilometers an hour backwards. See? Highly illegal maneuver. Why, of course. Or at least, it feels like it. Zoom. Where the trucks go whizzing by. Alright. I don't think I'm going to have the divider here, which makes me happy. I should be able to pull right off the highway and then make my way down to the parking area. And this is fine. Okay, chat. Phase 1 complete. All right, we survived. MSEP, welcome aboard, my friend. Bonsoir. Well, bonjour, because it is still morning here. Wish you a great morning. I am taking it one moment at a time, my friend. It is an absolute privilege and honor to have you aboard as well. Folks, if you do not know my friend, MSEP, MSEP is a dear friend in the community, somebody that I've swapped much conversation with back and forth here, and somebody that also has streamed in the past. And yes, we are in Japan. I am on my way into the Daikoku Futo parking area, and we're going to see if we can actually park up there. Oh, you're very welcome, my friend. I'm very happy that you stopped by. I clearly I don't normally stream around this time. Yeah, and it's when you can. I get it. It's life. Like, how many months has it been since I've released anything with regards to airport scenery? I know. I want to release airport scenery. I've been I've been more occupied than I've wanted to in some respects. Kev, a few. I've been working on a GA airport in Kentucky, which I've been building out the fixed fixed base operator building in Blender. I would like to get back to doing some quiet dev streams to build that up and to actually add more to the airport. The airport is actually yes. I just thought of something. I need to update my buymeacoffee.com account to provide the latest to it. Very nice. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is dope. I have not been here. Let me park up, and then I'll be able to catch my breath for a moment and take in the view. It'd be kind of hilarious if the truck actually parked up too, but we're fine. Yes, to be honest with you, MSEP, it's been a long time since I've flown to Japan, and I think I like the concept, or I like the idea. Oh, you mean for real? Oh, oh, wow. That's amazing. I mean, definitely if you have the opportunity to, and you want to, and you're within your means, take pictures and share them up. But Japan, for me, from the States, would be a bucket list trip, something that I think I'd like to do sometime in the not too distant future. But of course, prior obligations and money are factors. Orlando is certainly more achievable for me on any given year, but also takes money as well. So definitely, I get you. Anybody that has difficulty traveling right now because of financial issues, I am right there with you. I am. I don't think it's any secret to anybody that I'm looking for new work right now. I am employed. Praise Yahweh for that. But at the same time, I'm looking for opportunities to take care of the bills better. I don't drive. I fly down to Orlando. But with regards to FS Expo, considering my ability to save up money for it, if that is a thing this year, I will most likely drive out there. So we're really really hitting the bumpers with regards to me deciding or figuring out when it is that I'm actually going to be able to get to Expo. Sorry, making bookings to go to Expo rather. So I don't know. I mean, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to go do my taxes, and then we're going to figure out whether or not it's going to be a possibility. Like I said, yeah. So the jury's out on that, Kev. I am. I'm not that far away from New York City. MSEP. I've been to New York City, Boston, and DC in my lifetime so far. I usually prefer not to give too many details regarding location because doxing, but at the same time, it's like, come on, Digi. Do you really think that highly of yourself? You're not that important, you know. But I do like keeping some things behind the veil, if you will. Yes, yes. I am definitely squarely in the maybe list right now. Because if I can get a chance to go, and if we have the money set aside, believe me when I say I am announcing it. And I look forward to seeing as many people as I can actually shake hands and hug. I am a hugger. Uh, and then we'll see what happens. But, folks, give me, I'd say, about 2 minutes or so. I'm going to go ahead and make sure cats are fed because it is about that time to feed them. And I'll be back momentarily. All right. Stay frosty. Be back in a bit. Subtle as a bowling ball. uh, Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Thanks for waiting. Hopefully, I didn't take too long for y'all. And thank you to everybody watching, and certainly thanks to all the people lurking today. I am back. Let's go ahead and hop back in the cabin and do a few more deliveries, but not before taking a quick rest and then firing up the truck and moving over to that sign so that I can actually get not credit per se, but basically, you know that I was on the mark for this. Okay, so now I should be able to park up, even if I have to back up a little bit. Just want to see what the camera thing does for Daikoku, because this would be the first time I've been here. All right, let's take a look at this together. So Daikoku Futo is a pretty well-known spot in terms of people getting together and having, I guess, impromptu car meets or whatnot. It's also got apparently a pretty sizable, service area, kind of like, food stop. And this is along the Tokyo Bayshore Highway system, on top of being connected to the Tokyo Metropolitan Expressway system, which is tied into the Greater Japan Expressway system. But I haven't been to this place IRL, but I've usually driven past it in racing games and here in Project Japan when trucking. I just haven't actually gotten into it like I am now. Kev, don't think for a hot second that I haven't been tempted and thought to myself, I wonder how much it costs to get a CDL. Dude, don't even start. I mean, okay, reality check. It costs money to do that. It costs money to get a physical, it costs money to train, go through licensing, get a class A all the way down to a CDL. Unless you don't have to get a class A to get a CDL, but it does cost money to get it. So once you get past that, then of course you have to get, the experience or get hired to get experience or whatever. And then essentially, once you get to that point, that's when, maybe another like 5, 10, 15 years down the road, you can call more shots and take, the kind of routes or the kind of work that you want to take, yada, yada, yada. But believe me when I say there is something about trucking that I like so much. Mostly trucking, I mean, almost entirely trucking in here because number one, I'm not dealing with real traffic, and number two, I'm enjoying myself here. The routes are, let's just say, devoid of many of the trappings of modern life. Um, Flat tires, multiple flat tires, a whole bunch of flat tires, traffic, people tailgating, road rage. Whoa, 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 whoa. What just happened? Are you kidding me right now? Look at this. Well, I can't see too much more, but look, you've apparently got an impromptu gathering of some people right here, including what looks like a Lamborghini from what I can tell. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So basically, it's like two or three hatchbacks in a Lambo. Less potholes, no lot lizards. Definitely less potholes. And no, definitely no to the second one, because clearly that's not the reason why I want to be a truck driver. If I think it means what I think it means. So, yeah, way no to the second one. Someone's having fun. And yeah, that does look like a Lambo. Sup? Sup? Nice ride, dude. I wasn't expecting that. That's dope. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to be able to exit locally. So I can either get on the road and pull off at. Ooh, there we go. Let's go to Kawasaki and see if we can pick up some Japan Airlines cargo. There we go. Let's go. Don't know if I'm gonna do any runs after this, but we'll definitely do one more run. All right. This was definitely a very, very interesting experience. All right, so we're going past another rest area. We've got some cars behind us. Dude, this is dope. It's like I wandered onto the set of Too Fast, Too Furious. New passage, map updated. This is dope. Okay, so let's go to Kawasaki. So that means I have to take the K5. So I'm going to go ahead and go on to the right side. That was worth the price of admission. Definitely. And now that I'm well rested, we can go grab another job and start exploring the horizons. And, this is another chance for me to just unload my brain with you amazing folks. So, I am still interested in flying fake planes. Please don't take this as a sign from me that, like, DIGI is done with flight simming as a whole, forever, permanently, blah blah blah. I'm not. That's definitely not the case. What I am doing right now is taking a strategic advance to rear, because there's so much fun that I'm having with Project Japan right now. It's not even, it's legit not even funny. The amount of enjoyment I've extracted out of all the runs that I've had, and the sheer memes, it's just worth it. It's worth all of it. And I do want to fly fake planes more. I'm probably going to fly more fake planes on stream. I'm definitely going to be doing scenery development. This isn't a question of if, just when. It's just that I had to get sorted. I had to figure out what it was that I was needing to focus on and work on. And sometimes there are no easy answers. And you don't what's the phrase I'm looking for? You don't have a quick answer sometimes to the problems. So I'm not gonna lie. This turned into a longer diversion than I was anticipating, but I'm also not upset that I did decide this. Plans for me right now, the very first and largest priority I have is to take care of my family. And unfortunately, I find myself in a position where the problems that I'm dealing with right now are really just shoving my hobby pursuit of scenery development to one side. Like I said before, I'm nowhere near as stressed out as I was last year. I'm not. Am I involved in a crazy amount of things? Not really. But what's the best way I can say this? You know how you take a look around sometimes and you realize you're not in a place you want to be, and the conversations that you're hearing are not the ones that you want to indulge in, or even going past that, when the work you're doing switches cadence and you suddenly start to realize, um, no, I I really don't like this anymore. I I have caught myself asking myself this question repeatedly over the past, probably the past 2 or 3 months solid. Why am I asking myself if I want to stay as a software developer? Or, different question, do I want to be a software developer anymore? And it's made me stop and think and wonder why I'm thinking about that, why I'm asking that question. And seriously, it's like, hey, Digi, you okay? It's like, again, yes, I'm good. I'm fine. Uh, Praise the Lord, I am mentally sound. This is more a question of what I do as a whole and the industry that I find myself a part of. There are aspects to it that seriously have me challenging the efficacy of my career. And I'm not just saying, oh, well, it's getting kind of hard. This has been the way it's been for more than a little bit now. Enough to where it's like, okay, you know, it's like it's not one of those things where, you take a new job and you're like, I don't like it here. The job's too hard. And you've only been there like a day or a week or even a month. I've been where I've been for a longer period of time, extensively longer. And the, what am I trying to say? I'm tempted to say the writing's on the wall, but it's also a kind of just, I keep checking myself mentally. I'm like, am I going to keep ignoring what I see in front of me? And it's like, well, should I or should I do something about it? The problem is with my industry, it's really hard to do something about it. And by do something about it, I mean get another job. If it was just a question of doing something like, oh, well, I can take a job that pays me X number of thousands of dollars below what I currently make for the sake of map check. Yeah, for the sake of saying, oh, well, I can do this for a month and see where it turns out. No, you can't say that anymore. And it's not a question of it being taboo. It's literally a question of the industry being so saturated by a bunch of us looking for work that the very concept of finding another job right now is flat out rough. A lot of people are looking for work in my industry, and it is hard to pivot in almost any way. So the concept of saying, oh, well, you can just blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, yeah, I could, but it's a lot harder to these days. And I'm past the point where it's like, oh, well, it's kind of scary, but we'll just muddle through it. It's like, the way things work right now, it's more like this is the way it is, and oh wait, I went the wrong way. This is the way it is, and there's really no getting around it at the moment. So in one sense, it's like, well, I'm gonna have to figure it out, and I'm okay with taking time to figure it out. It's just that when it gets to the point where it starts to squeeze my quality of life and my finances, figuring it out becomes an increasingly more important priority. I think you follow me. I think you follow where I'm going with this. So, clearly, I want to be better. And it's taking me a while to get to that point. Yeah, yeah, Kev, you know. And again, like I said before, you are certainly welcome to hit me up post stream and DMs or in chats in my Discord, and we can go into extensive detail about it, to a point, of course. But the situation is, the best way I can say it, the clock is ticking. So I need to temper my expectations with what's going on in the industry, with anything and everything that God Almighty has planned. And I think sometimes that means that literally I will be waiting for an answer, which is okay. Like, it's gonna be a thing sometimes. So, you know, sometimes the only thing left for a flower to do is to grow. And that's where I find myself right now. With that said, I'm starting to realize there are certain things that I can do. Like making sure that I don't spend a ridiculous amount of time doing work that isn't paying my bills as effectively as I'd like them to. And again, that's definitely a privileged conversation. With that said, we've reached our destination. Ooh, wow. Look at this. For this amount of money, I used to drive much further in quick job mode to get this kind of payout. This is why buying your first truck is something you should prioritize, especially in Project Japan. Because I guess the sooner you get your hands on your first truck, the sooner you can make more money. But I also enjoyed the quick truck mode because it gave me the chance to see a lot of the country. Can you tell your employer what? Uh, I forgot what I was saying. But okay, let's just agree to carry on the conversation post chat, post stream, and I'll even take a Discord call from you, friend. Um, I would be more than happy to sit down with an imaginary or real cup of coffee and talk shop. That would legitimately be an honest privilege. So we're not going to be doing an extremely long haul, but this is going to pay out like one. This is incredible. It looks like drive your own truck jobs pay about 2 to 3 times as much than the quick jobs do. Which I guess makes sense because if they have to use their own vehicles and their own trailers for it, they're not going to pay as much. Which makes sense. All right. Let's head off to Shikoku Island once again. Let's go. I gotta go back up to Tokyo now from Haneda, or the burbs, to be able to get on the highway. But at the same time, this is good. This is very good. Alright, let's get situated. Let's take a look at the map real fast. They want me to go back up the road to get back up the Route 1. Oh, yeah, if we're talking about what the jobs pay out. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Quick jobs pay you less than you driving your own truck as an owner operator because they have to pay for insurance on the truck. Yeah. I'm not aware of all of the factors associated with operating trucks in Japan, but I would imagine the more machinery you have, the more overhead you have, and the more overhead you have, the less you can pay out. Makes sense to me. Definitely makes sense to me. Alright, what time is it right now? It's about noon on the East Coast. And I'm going to park my trailer over the railroad tracks because... There we go. I think I just cleared it. Nope! Well, let's hope no trains come. DIGI, you knucklehead. Yeah, liability. Oh yeah, that insurance thing that protects against, dumb behavior. Like I just indulged in. Needless to say, I think I'd shoulder the brunt of that claim anyway. Yeah, and I've seen a non-zero number of them myself. You would think that knowledge would permeate into my driving. Guess not. No. IRL, I have zero interest in doing stupid and crossing a railroad sign thing when the gates haven't come down but the lights are going off, or staying on the train tracks and blocking the intersection. That would be what's called a bad idea. So yeah, no. Spoiler alert, the train always wins. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, okay, mass plus momentum. You're gonna lose. Yeah, you are. Alright. So now we're going to get on the highway again to Tokyo before we get to the port of call. I am not using a steering wheel setup. And the scuttlebutt, or the funny conversation, is that earlier this year, I had the opportunity to purchase one. I found myself inside of a Target, and they have like an electronics section, and me being the kid that I am, I wandered into it. I happened to notice a force feedback steering wheel. I think it was the Logitech G25, G26. I'm not 100% sure. Whatever the case, it was available and I had some spare change. Like, I could have legit bought it straight up with the roughly, 200 plus dollar price tag that existed on it. I could have, but I'm glad I didn't. As it turned out, my decision to hold off proved to be fruitful because there were some pop-up expenses which needed to be taken care of and some new adventures that I wanted to investigate anyway. And I was afraid that by buying a steering wheel, I was going to get more into, trucking and spending less time doing scenery development because I really wanted to get into scenery development and I was starting to find my stride and starting to actually set aside time in the schedule to enjoy it. As it turned out, though, my schedule kind of shifted, and here I am doing more trucking than I am doing scenery dev because life. But at the same time, I'm also glad I didn't wind up buying it, because if I did, what would have happened would have been I would have probably either had to return it or sell it at a loss because we came up on a lot of bills that had to get paid. So many, in fact, that both Mrs. Digi and I divested ourselves of more than a few things that fortunately were able to bring us a tidy little profit, which allowed us to continue in our present state, which is to say, we're still struggling. And I'm not lying when I'm saying our budget's way more pink than it is black right now. In fact, the red marker has kind of wandered into the room. So, at the risk of sounding opportunistic, I would say if you, as a lurker, appreciate the content and you enjoy my occasionally dad joke heavy commentary, and you want to see more of it, or you want to see me get back to scenery development, I would invite you to consider supporting me here through a subscription or through a cheer of literally any size. Or if you want to be a part of my next adventure, which of course will be scenery development, consider visiting my Buy Me a Coffee account. I'm on buymeacoffee.com/Digi123, DIGI123. Clearly, you don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. You simply being here and engaging in chat on a day like today so that I can just chill out and hang out with all of you, that is a gift. With that said, I'm not trying to throw anybody for a loop or go, like, I might not be around forever. No. I don't want to do that. However, I'm not going to lie. If things continue the way they do, and I need to take a step back even further, then the thought of me selling off my sim rig and downgrading to my Raspberry Pi 4 did cross my mind, and it wasn't just an idle thought either, because the things that I can do to sell my rig off piecemeal or as a combined unit would at least help me pay off a few more bills. And in the circumstance and situation in which I find myself, a few more paid off bills means a couple more nights of chill times, as opposed to being like, okay, I'm fielding another call from such and such a company that wants more of my money because I owe it to them and I want to pay them back. So yeah, just straight talk. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to give me a penny. In fact, I don't want you to if you're in a similar circumstance, because that would make you, come out worse than I do. So do not worry about supporting me in that sense. Again, you being here and keeping me company is a great blessing and a privilege. If you feel so moved, I would certainly appreciate it, but it's not a requirement. You can literally ignore that push the rest of the stream and it won't offend me at all. It won't. It won't. Um, I think it was either I don't know if Digi 123 was a limitation on the buymeacoffee.com setup, or if I just arbitrarily picked buymeacoffee.com/DIGI123 because Digi123 was very easy to communicate on stream and easy for folks to look up. So, in one sense, I was being a little sneaky, but at the same time, it's something that I'm glad I can do easily in reference to my Buy Me a Coffee account. I believe my About page also has a donation link for making donations straight to the account, which I believe is also usually the most undiluted way of being able to fund these epic adventures or misadventures and get me to a better place financially. But you don't have to. You don't have to give me a penny. And there's another reason why. Because in one sense, my problem isn't me being short a few bucks or a couple thousand for a particular period of time. You can get around that by eating rice and beans and rice for a long time. The problem is a fundamental, painful lack of income. I'm not going to get into too many details, but essentially, there was like a tectonic shift that happened, which resulted in me being divested of way more money than I feel comfortable talking about on stream. Even being vague and signal-esque. It was rough. It still is. So this is kind of one of the reasons why I have these kind of therapy sessions, because I'm legit trying to figure out what the best course of action is. I'm not going to lie and say that I haven't thought about the idea of completely, shutting off Twitch for the extent of saying, hey, at least I'm going to have, the opportunity to go, not scorched earth, but do a lot less and basically be chill about it. But yeah, this is it's a possibility. It's something that I have had cross my mind. So yeah, there's that. But at the same time, sometimes there's nothing you can do except to rest. And I have been reminded of that more than a few times over the past couple of weeks. By friends, by family, to the extent where it's literally a question of me saying, okay, there is nothing I can do right now other than lean on God's provision. And there is, I'm gonna put this out there. There is a blessing in understanding. There is a blessing in understanding that you can't do it all. Like, you literally have to wait, or you literally have nothing that you can do except to lean into Him and say, I don't know what to do. I don't have another option. I can't fix this problem on my own. Heavenly Father, please help me in Jesus' name, because without your help, I'm going to fall on my face, and it is going to hurt. Occasionally, maybe I have to fall on my face. Occasionally, maybe I have to lose all the trappings that I thought I needed to discover what I truly have to do. And if all this is an assignment designed to bring me to a place where humility and His decisions for my life rule, then amen. There's no need for me to be mad because if His will is done, it benefits me regardless. I either win or I learn. So it's not cheesy. It's not like a trite Bible lesson. It's no. Sometimes life sucks. You lose, you hit bottom hard, and it takes you years to recover. But guess what happens? The people that deal with stuff like that, that legitimately weather storms that basically rip their life up, they either come away from that with no faith in God or they cling on to Him tighter. And there is a fellowship through Christ Jesus for believers in the body that accompanies the patient endurance and overcoming of circumstances like that make me think the idea of weathering something like that provides benefit. So, in other words, today's struggle is tomorrow's story. That's where I am right now. And I'm not going to lie and say, oh, it's all sunshine and rainbows. I'm happy, like everything's perfect. No, stuff sucks right now. I have, I don't think I've ever been more aware of my occasional inability to do stuff correctly than right now. But I don't know. If He prefers to work through a remnant, then Yahweh Elohim reigns supreme. And I gotta chill. And it's like, oh, well, like, we're so much for your faith. Where's your God if He's letting you go through all that stuff? That's just the thing. That's just the thing. He's literally right there with me in the midst of that situation. I don't think I've ever been more convinced.
Final approach checklist complete.
Hey, Custer, thanks for the sub. And Commodore Chronicles, hello, my friend. Welcome. Looks like I took the wrong way, but I'm just going to go ahead and play with this for a little bit. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Always appreciate it, never required, but thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And you use your Prime sub on top of that, too. Commodore Chronicles, I can't even explain it to you. There is, in one sense, a very real realization of what I have been dealing with over the past few months and years, that something that I'm enduring right now is better than just being cradled and being given everything. Custer, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate being able to chat with you and one or more other streams, and your support is certainly appreciated. I don't even know how to best explain it other than to say there's a lot that I have weathered. Hang on a moment. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I can actually get on the road from here. It doesn't look like I can. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It does. It does. Sincerely. Every little bit helps. Every chance that I have to, to give somebody so much as a penny to say, look, here, I can give you this much. I can give you this much. I can give you this much. And in terms of being able to pay down debt, the concept, the ability to kind of small pay your way out of debt is actually something which I believe companies in the States have to agree to. Now, that's probably going to wreck my credit rating, and it's probably going to make me accumulate a whole bunch more principal before I get back on my feet. But I believe the rule is that is what you have to allow in order for somebody to make good on their obligations. I mean, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that's what's possible or available. But yeah, I am going to go ahead and say that there are plenty of things that I, at one point or another, thought that I wanted or really thought that I needed, which I basically don't need at all anymore. And I don't think it's ever been more apparent to me than when I started going through all this. Because as I got rid of a bunch of stuff that I wasn't using, that was just taking up space in my closet anyway, I got to this space where I was literally like, oh, look at that. I was actually able to get money for this. I was able to get money for that. I was able to get this out of my closet. Now I have some more space in my closet. I can actually, put the things that need to go in there. And, stuff like that. I'm saying the ability to, oh, looks like I missed my turn off here. The ability to understand what it is I have to do is a blessing. And I don't know. I guess sometimes it takes falling on my face to discover that. I guess so. All right, Custard, enjoy the lurk, my friend. Hope I can provide some background noise for you while you hang out, or if you have to go. I appreciate you, and thanks so much again for your support. So we're going to try this a second time because clearly Digi wasn't paying attention to the road. It is sometimes very tricky to gauge which direction you have to go in. But fortunately for me, I really like driving in Japan. So going going over and merging onto the highway again is not going to be a problem for me. I don't think it's going to keep me from meeting my requirements for delivery on time, but I certainly don't want to make another failed highway decision, so I'm going to try to be more careful this time. I do also think over the next couple of weeks and months, I'm going to try to push myself to do more of the things that I kind of said I wanted to do, but I put aside, like more tech work. Well, yeah, that's what happens naturally when you're in a really good conversation, or when you are actually communicating with somebody and you're on the road. You literally divest yourself of the faculties required to watch what you're doing, which is another reason why it's not even necessarily a question of whether or not you are holding a smartphone. It's a question of whether or not the conversation you're having in your vehicle is distracting you from driving. I'm gonna, you know, you do want to pay attention. You are hauling a lot of cargo in a big heavy truck. Just saying. Thank you, Kev. Appreciate the advice. Noted. All right, now we're going to try this again. And just to make this a little bit easier on the eyes, we're going to pay attention because Route 2 merges off the highway. Route 3 leads to Route 5, which then leads to E28, which lets me cross the river. The more you know. uh, I mean, anybody that's even paying slight amounts of attention can clearly tell what generation I grew up in. So, while I'm not going to tell you how old I am, it's not going to take more than a fairly decent amount of detective work to determine that. With that said, I'm never going to agree to anybody guessing my age, so you can guess as much as you want to, I'm never going to tell. But again, at the same time, it's like, there's no point. You know. And if you don't know, now you know. Okay, so clearly we're going to stay on the road this time. Today's freeway system is this absurd. I I like the American interstate highway system because I've gotten to the point. Actually, I understood a lot of, well, no, scratch that. I didn't understand many of the tenets of the highway system when I was a kid, but I liked looking at interstate shields, and I liked figuring out that some of them were different than the others. Like you have one digit interstates, two digit interstates, three digit interstates, and basically those things mean different things. One and two digit interstates in America, depending on the number at the end, if it's an odd number, it's a north south. If it's an even number, it's an east west. And when you have three digit interstates, the first digit is usually the determining factor because odd first digits on a triple make it that you are going into a town or place, and even number digits mean usually going around it, which is cool. Oh, you mean in Toledo? Oh, oh, oh. You mean particular permutations of said highway system? Ah, gotcha. Cool. All right, so we are like a little bit more than halfway through on this delivery now. So I think another like maybe 15, 20 minutes and we'll have this load delivered. Holy Toledo. Oh man. Or as Digi would put it, good gravy. So, let me think. What else is on my mind? I have been messing around progressively more and more with my Raspberry Pi machinery. I think my current setup is long overdue for an update or a changing of the guard. Oh, more laid back than auto racers? Dude, you have no idea. If you are any kind of an IT related person like myself, and you want to chill at the end of the day, if you have this, you drive at a relatively slow pace, delivering cargo. Now, Japan is a special use case because the speed limits in Japan are even slower than in Europe or in America. But even in America, and I would almost say in America, okay, love you. In America, you're you have you'll probably recognize more landmarks and you'll have more fun driving around. I mean, they're not going to model every single landmark. The map scale is 119, so cities are going to be compressed. But what I'm saying is, you'll enjoy driving around and catching catching landmarks, delivering cargo, and not like racing around corners at high speed and scraping off of walls, going like against like all the other racers. No, no, no. You're delivering cargo. It's really cool. You you uh, what can we say? Well, I've been meaning to go back to Toledo and take a look at the highway situation. Toledo's a nice place. They have nice people there. Okay, I'm going to stop now. But all things considered, I get you. For many years I did a lot of commuting, and I think I'm going to be returning to commuting in the not too distant future if I have to switch out of where I work. Fortunately, a lot of companies in my field, in my industry, do hybrid work where the majority of what we do can still be done from home on some days. But at the same time, I don't know. I think I kind of like the idea of being around people a little bit. I just don't like traffic. I don't like people that are like, dude, you're not going fast enough. Because the answer is like, wait a minute, are you going to pay my speeding ticket? No? Please go somewhere else. Now, some folks are clearly not going to settle for that kind of answer. But honestly, I guess I just have to suck it up and deal with it and rejoin the outside of home work world again. I'm not saying, working out of an office is a horrible thing, unless working out of an office is a horrible thing. And if you know, you know. Hybrid to me is what a lot of people kind of settled on in terms of technical things. Now, you're not going to be able to be a hybrid worker if you are a, janitor. Janitors don't work remotely. At least right now they don't. And if you are a DevOps engineer and you have to take a look at network racks and put new cables up, there's a pretty good chance you're going to be visiting the office more than somebody that just, uses Salesforce or comes into the office every once in a while to hold meetings. So yeah, there's that. I used to be an in-office 100%er, and I wondered what working remotely would be like. And then this thing called COVID happened, and I think I just saw a shooting star. And then this thing called COVID happened, and I have been fully remote for the past literally 5 years. And it is cool. I can work in my PJs if I want to. These days I do wear jeans at home. As I think it kind of just it kind of grounds me a little bit and makes me go, okay, let's not be too comfy, let's try to focus a little bit, let's try to get the work done. But being able to be with Mrs. Digi and being able to what am I trying to say? Being able to provide some care for her while I work, being able to take care of my pets a little bit while I work, and having them take care of me, that's not a privilege I take for granted. Believe me when I say that. Believe me when I say that. The only reason I have anywhere near something daring to consider itself a complaint is when you work with, divisions or departments or companies where it's just like, these folks aren't staying in touch with me, and I need them to call me about something. Wow. So you were in office during that. Oof. Well, still sounds like it sucks. I do remember some high points about being in the office 100%. They usually involve the holidays. And the cool part about being in the office around that time was whenever you hit like the day after Thanksgiving, from like from like before Thanksgiving through just after Christmas, you would you would have an easier time finding parking spaces at the same time. It would be easier, at least in my opinion. I was just thinking about that, Kev. Fully remote janitor would be robotics. Would be. So, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I missed that comment, but for some reason that makes me laugh. Um, it's a thing. It's a thing. It does make me wonder what the future of certain fields looks like, but that's a conversation I don't need to get into right now. Suffice it to say, I'm making my own way through the AI hotbed of conversations and all these other topics that say, you know, oh, AI's going to eliminate everything. It's like, not yet, not yet. It's okay. I'm learning how to wield Thor's hammer and discovering that unlike Mjolnir, it's actually still a cheap copy. So it's got its work cut out for it. Let's just put it that way. It does. Oh, you do work in robotics, and that's life. Like a lot of us find ourselves on different aspects of conversations that a lot of people are like, well, you know, like I don't like AI. And some people are like, dude, I like AI so much. It helps me be so more productive with my time. I think the point around which a lot of people pivot is their exposure to and their knowledge of machine-based systems. The more you know about something, the easier it is to make up an opinion about it and use it effectively. So I'm probably going to go ahead and say there's that. Am I afraid of it? No. In its current state, it will do more harm to us by doing stupid things than going Skynet on us. It's nowhere near that. So, and I'm talking about AI. I'm not talking about people that are, doing their best to, make it work. Robotics does come in handy, especially if you're doing things like handling hazardous materials, you know, if you're a first responder or you're a police officer with a robotics team that's going in somewhere to defuse a bomb, stuff like that. It's a very real thing. Oh, hello. That was a sharp stop. Let's not do that again, okay? Wow. Did I just get brake check, chat? See, Kev? See? My psyche is fragile. I don't know if I want to be around traffic anymore. Listen, you gotta get in a car or a truck to do life where I live. So, I get it. But I am grateful that I don't have to do it as much as I used to. Is it going to be something I'm going to have to start doing more of again soon? Maybe. But, unlike before, the thought is way less of a deal breaker and just more of a kind of, oh, okay, I guess it's what we're doing then. Pretty much. Fine. And then end of conversation. Do I want to go back to being 100% on site? I would prefer not to be for, caregiving reasons and taking care of Mrs. DG. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. All our misconceptions and um, I guess the word is vitriol about AI is because of what some people think it will be leveraged to perform versus what it actually does. The extent to which, you know, pilots use artificial intelligence to help them manage workloads when they're flying. You know, you can fly an aircraft from takeoff to landing at a destination multiple hours away. Does that mean that's what pilots do? Usually not. You can um, have certain things construct equipment or conduct monitoring or help you with surgery, or you could do everything by hand. You'll probably still be fine, but you have to take a much longer period of time to do certain things. So, yeah, yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. I got you. I'm not opposed to the idea of using AI, even in software development. Now, I'll be the first person to tell you it's not taking over my job anytime soon. The inability of artificial intelligence to create even a basic complete program due to the layers upon layers of what I'm going to call fuzzy logic required to answer basic and hidden requirements. The computing required to do that is still not within reach. At least not yet. Right, right. Emotionalism. Like, AI's taking over my job. No, you can't do that. Run. Because that's basically it. Like emotionalism is, if it feels right, it must be true. Yeah. Like I'm afraid of AI because I'm afraid it's gonna take over my job. So that's what it's gonna do. It's gonna take over my job. Bruh. No, 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 no. Slow down. Slow down. Sip a cup of chamomile tea and chill a moment, homie. We get in line. Software developers have been trying to put themselves out of a job for decades, over half a century, and we still haven't succeeded. Now, is it being leveraged to obsolete certain kinds of jobs? Yes. And if I understand what Seth Godin said about AI one time, he basically said you should be concerned about AI if you are a run-of-the-mill average performer. When something like AI comes for a job category, it's going to effectively push people to the side that are just coasting along. If you put even a modicum of effort into what you do, and you can read the room, you can stay ahead of the curve. If you can't, it's because they're either moving at a much faster pace than anybody expected, or because you aren't putting in the effort. And I'm not saying that to say, that's rude. You don't know everything going on with my job. You're right. I don't know everything going on with your job. And I think the issue with AI taking over swaths of employment opportunities is because the landscape is changing. If we have time to, and we can, then we should change with it. So that we go from being people that write code to being the people that supervise AI and make sure the code written by AI is correct. So there you go. That's my $5. 2 cents adjusted for inflation. But really, essentially, that's it. It's just like it's all good. It's all good. Breathe deep into the brown bag. Let the carbon dioxide calm your brain down. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Know how I know? Because we can still be people that take care of each other. We can still extend opportunities to each other. We can still look out for each other. Whether you're letting somebody merge into traffic or, you know, even an extra $5 to take care of somebody's tab behind you at the supermarket line. Or being cognizant of how you can benefit your community around you. Or doing something different. But we can get there. Now, for me, as a practice in terms of my life, it comes as a result of my personal relationship with God through Jesus Christ. I'm a born-again Christian and believe that everyone should know God personally through Jesus and be saved from a very literal place called hell, which is coming, and to spend eternity with God in heaven, which is a real place. Now, I mentioned this to say, I believe that it's every person's proper and fulfilled destiny to know God personally through Jesus, and I would invite you to come to know him. And if you don't know, you can find out more through places like the Billy Graham Evangelistic Institute online to find out how to have peace with God. But if that's not what you want, if you don't care, if you don't subscribe to that, or if you're content to be where you are, and the idea of a very real, literal place like hell doesn't scare you, or you're just like, whatever, you don't want that, I'm not going to shove what I believe down your throat. If you're an adult, I want you to have every single ability to figure stuff out on your own. I'm just saying, as for me and my house, we serve the Lord. God Almighty through Jesus Christ. But I still welcome everybody here, regardless of where you come from and what you believe. You are welcome here. I want you to feel comfortable. Am I going to talk about things that pertain to me as a follower of Christ and a Christian? Yeah, I am. So, if that's something that bothers you, you may want to reconsider spending time here, because I'm not going to change what I believe in to suit everybody, or to suit anybody. But, if you're okay with me occasionally talking about that, then sure, come on, chill. Crush a cup of orange juice and enjoy the atmosphere. You are certainly still welcome, even if you're not a Christian. We are not that far away. I'd say I've got like about 14, 12 some odd miles to go. I'm really crummy on the spot conversions, but basically 26 kilometers, it's like 20 some odd miles. $3.66 at the Twitch Stations cut. But it's what it is. So many of us are just trying to get by right now, and my heart goes out to everybody that's actually dealing with stuff hard in life. And just know that it doesn't matter who you are, what you believe. I'll still pray for you, and think well of you, and potentially look for opportunities to help you. Unless you're like, no, I don't want your concern, I don't want your charity, I don't want your prayers, leave me alone. In which case I'll say, okay, I will leave you alone and give you as much distance as you want. Of course, If me giving you distance involves you being a troll in chat, you may have issues with my mods because my mods are deputized. I don't have an unban. I don't have ban appeals. It's basically what they say goes. So basically, if uh, if you do something to like violate terms of service, or you act in a way that basically means you are not doing a service to the folks in chat, don't be surprised if you get timed out. Don't be surprised if you get banned. That's how it works, essentially. So, is what it is. Hammer time. Nice. Nice. Dad jokes inbound. Thanks again to everybody that's been here today, hanging out with me while I did some trucking in Project Japan and Euro Truck Sim. Let me just check something really fast. I'm going to. Okay, good. I don't have to. I was gonna get up because I thought my cat was getting into something, but they're fine. Do I want to do another run? Let me see. What time is it right now? It is actually going on 1:15. What I might do is, if I can find something really, really small, I might do one more run, like local on the island. Otherwise, I'm probably going to chill out, have some follow-up conversations, and then call it for today. How long have I been on, actually? Oh, nice. That's a respectable amount of time. Cool. Oh, I get you. And I mean, it's a thing. It can happen. It can happen. You wind up stepping away from Twitch for a while because life just gets way too rough. Hey, SG, my friend. Folks, if you don't know my friend SG Child, you should probably go check him out. He is a fellow flight sim enthusiast, sim pilot, and fellow scenery developer. SG, if you don't mind, please hit the folks up with links to your sim market page so they can take a look at some of the scenery releases you had before, if you would be so kind. And of course, my friend Commodore Chronicles is also a fellow streamer, although more on the retro tech and video gaming side, which I appreciate stopping it on from time to time. Thank you for the shout out. Full transparency. Sometimes I don't spend nearly as much time hanging out with people as I should on Twitch. And I think a part of the reason why is because of just the schedule and keeping up. I am not talking about my other responsibilities. I'm literally talking about my job. And the reason why I single out my job without mercy is because I want to ingrain one single thought in my head. My job is not God. My job is literally, other than its ability to give me money, utterly insignificant in the cause of my life. I will go out of my way to make this abundantly clear in this moment because I feel it's appropriate to mention this. I never want to be in a place, self-employed or otherwise, where my job takes a position in front of or ahead of or even before Almighty God or my family or my friends. And unfortunately, with blood transfusion, clarity, and transparency, I can tell you I worked more hours at my job last year than I probably should have. So, If you hear me talking about this with fairly pointed and direct language, there's a reason why. It's because, in the grand scheme of things, if I have to choose between everything else and my job, hey, job, don't feel bad. You mean nothing to me. Period. And honestly, I don't think I've ever felt more confident about saying that before in my life. It has to be that way because the important things have to remain the important things. All right. Well, definitely the shout out is well deserved, SG. On top of you being a great friend, you came up into the scenery dev biz so fast. All I could do was just smile. It was awesome seeing that. But definitely happy to have you amongst the folks that actually create scenery as well. And thanks for the shout out to Commodore Chronicles as well. All right, so I am approaching about half my tired level. I might disable fatigue simulation because I basically don't care. Fatigue simulation is kind of like, you know, um, simulating fatigue in a sim is like digital economy in most games. Like, unless it's going to benefit me significantly, I like it for a while, and then it's just like, whatever. Man, Digi's nitpicky today. No, it's just kind of like a thought. Digital economy is great in one sense because it kind of gets you to think about the way you do business differently, but at the same time, um, while I have been tempted to go into things like FS economy for simulating, airline operations or stuff like that, it's not that important to me. In fact, it's so not important to me that I still haven't done it yet. Now it's out, need a new one. Yeah. I'm a bit buzzy myself right now, so I get you. I totally understand. Looks like we're getting some rain. And another easy parking job because I don't care. There we go. Didn't hit the fence. Thank you. Let's go ahead and park up and drop off the cargo. All right. Set the brakes in place. Cut the engine and the lights. And we have made it as the rain is starting to fall all the way out from, where was I? Kobe? Yes, to Shikokuchuo. So let's go ahead and unload the cargo. I should be hitting level 8 now. I miss the unknown of the pre-internet world. It's interesting you mentioned that because I was thinking about that a few nights ago. I was thinking like my generation knew my generation knows both the accessibility and incredible power of connectedness and having computers that used to power NASA rockets in the palm of your hand or in your pocket. But I also knew a time when I didn't have a phone in my pocket. I had to literally go to a wall in my home to pick up a phone to make a phone call. And you drove around without being constantly connected to a whole bunch of stuff. So there's that. And in general, the pacing of life was different. So I see your point. But experience points, like life, go on. And now that I've hit level 8, I can pick a point for additional skills. It's going to go right to long distance because the higher your skill in long distance is, the more money you make for longer routes. After I max out long distance, I'm probably going to focus on my either fragile cargo or special certifications. Let me go ahead and save this actually. First truck, new delivery. Oh, also, if you have Project Japan installed and you recently updated to version 1.54 of Euro Truck Sim 2, you're going to want to go back to 1.53 because 1.54 breaks it. Okay, so I currently have 4.7 million yen, which is great because they're going to take money out of my account, or probably already have. And then I have like basically roughly 3 something million to go to pay off the entire loan. And then I'm free and operating my own business. I'm happy to be inside the cabin of this Renault. It's a nice little, mostly black livery, which I like. I can get like a custom paint job and make it like be really sparkly and stuff like that, but this meets my needs. And this is probably all I need. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Well, I might wait till the next truck stream where I can go ahead and customize the truck, because I might actually be able to customize and put in either a better transmission or a more powerful engine at this point, because I'm going to want it if I'm going to be doing lots of hill climbs in this. I think so, anyway. Okay, well, let's see. It is roughly 1:20 in the afternoon East Coast time, and I have not eaten much ever since I got back from my hospital trip today. Again, no, nothing for me. It was just a routine for Mrs. DIGI, but it was a really early appointment. So I might take a break now, cut the stream, and then eat something, sit back down, and do something fun with like a Raspberry Pi. I think I'm going to start refitting either my Pi Zero or one of the other machines, because I want to do stuff with either the memory cards that I have, or check my retro gaming setup, or do something like that. I'm going to resist the urge to do any kind of software development today or scenery development, because resting. And hopefully by the end of this week, I'm going to be in a much more favorable place to start getting into those kinds of conversations and things. You are most welcome, Kev. And Commodore Chronicles, thank you so much. It was a privilege to see you here. Really grateful for the company and for the conversations we had. Folks, I'm operating on an unscheduled schedule, so I'm a kind of, my streams are come and go right now. I'm usually gonna try to do one stream a week if I can. Work is what it is, which is another reason why it's not that I don't want to care about work anymore. It's just that I understand there are certain things that my work is going to accomplish for me, and certain things it's just not going to do for me anymore. And I have to figure out how to move forward correctly in the best way possible. I am praying for wisdom because I need more of it to make an informed decision. And let me try something before I go. I've been meaning to do this, and I keep putting this off, and I keep talking about, Discord this, Discord that. Let me see if I can actually get my Discord invite link up and running, because every time I tried doing it before, it didn't work. Let me try it. I'm going to go into my chat window and see if it... Nope. This sucks. Okay, so let's see. I don't know. It's like it says it's available, but it's not. And I can't tell why I can't actually put Discord links in chat anymore. That's just weird. I used to be able to. I'm not sure if it's just because of the way that chat works anymore, or if it's because um the chat window does something weird. I think it has everything to do with the invite link that I'm making, but I can't tell. It's gonna have to be something I'm gonna have to look into in the future. But with that said, appreciate everybody that stopped by today. You could be right, actually. You could be right. I'm using Streamlabs, so I'm not sure why it's blocking it then, but yeah, I'm not worried about it. Um, if you want to be a part of Discord and you are on Discord, but you can't, like, I can't get my invite out to you and you want to be a part of it, just message me, send me something there, or actually no, my settings block other messages by default. I'm making things difficult, aren't I? Let's just put it this way. If I can find you, I'll be more than happy to invite you if you're not already a part of the Discord. Or just hit me up, send me a message, or just shout me out in your Discord. And if I'm a regular member, I'll see you. In the meantime, folks, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure having all of you here. You really helped me today, and I want to thank you for that. And like I always like to say at the end of every stream that I make, if you want true peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that's Jesus Christ. My friends, have a great rest of your afternoon. If I don't see you in your Twitch streams today or throughout the rest of the week, take care. I may do another stream. I don't know if it's going to be Friday night. I don't know what my schedule is going to be like this weekend. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be staying up very late on Saturday because I have an early day on Sunday because I serve at church. Otherwise, folks, catch you around the Twitchverse. God bless you and take care. We'll see ya.